Well, let's play with some brighter colors today. I've been serenaded by, by that. The sounds of a chainsaw and a wood chipper today. It's beautiful, you know, the dulcet, calming tones. And not distracting at all. Ah, well, neighbors are doing some preemptive limbing of some cottonwood trees. When we get quite a few, we get freezing rain here a fair bit at times, and when that happens, there can be a symphony of branches crashing to the ground in their yard. And I don't know yet, I don't think any major damage has been done to their home. But as these trees get older, you know, it's cottonwood, it's poplar. It's weak and heavy wood. And those branches break, and they can just wreak havoc on everything. So I guess they decided to look after that chore. Anyway, that's okay. I like that sound. You know, sometimes, you know, I haven't been plein air painting for a while, but when I do, sometimes I'll just bring a chainsaw and leave it idling at my feet while I paint, because it's just so, it's so soothing. And if one of my friends are available, I'll bring a second easel, and while I paint, I get them to run their fingernails down a chalkboard, which I will put on the second easel, in addition to the idling chainsaw. Or, you know, maybe rent a couple of cats from the local shelter and a couple of male cats and just get them to fight. You know, those are just some of the things that I love. They're just calming sounds. I'm not complaining, but I do like being sarcastic. Oh, wait a minute, I guess I am complaining. No, life takes noise. These things have to be done. So I'm using yellow ochre, alizarin crimson, cobalt blue. Now I've dumped and white. Now I've dipped into some cad yellow pale to mix with it and make it a little stronger. And I'm in danger of having too much high chroma everywhere. I need a few dark strokes in there. So maybe I'll just try to be a little careful of that. I'll go with a little more cobalt blue. Try to indicate that not only is there light and bright color, but there's actually shadow. Without one, you don't have the other, so I have to remember that. A little more light on top here. The sun is coming from the left, so. Okay, that's all right. Now, as this bush goes around the corner, it's not catching any sun from the right. So let's cool it off. Not too much. Don't want to go too low and oops, that's a little too white. Don't want to go too low in value, but I don't want to be too high either. Okay, that might do the job. And to help give the impression of curvature, roundness, to these bushes and to these as well, where the bush meets the sky, I'm not going to, it's okay to do that sometimes, but not this time. I'm not going to lay my highest values and chromas right against that blue. We're going to tone it down, and then as we come forward, you know, like light hits the top, but it's diffused quite a bit. But as the crown of the bushes comes forward, we'll begin to catch more light. The chromas, the higher chromas will be in here. So that was a shot of alizarin crimson and cad yellow pale. Let's then go back to our yellow ochre. Earth tones, not as intense, but very welcoming and effective. Purple here. I don't want to shy away from the reds too much. Okay. Yeah, a bit like a concerto, you know, you kind of you put the theme in there, and then you put the rhythm in there, and you begin to build and build and build, and eventually you arrive with your crescendo, which of course in this case is where it's going to pop the most, and that's high value, high chroma. Hi everyone. I'm sorry. Sometimes I just have to say ridiculous things. Yeah, it's a knife, but you still get to layer. You still get to layer. You just have to be on the careful side, that's all. towards the edge of the painting, of course, so we're not gonna get too strong, we're gonna keep it toned down. I think I may be staying a little bit too toned down here. So let's forget about the blue for a bit. Let's just use yellow ochre and alizarin crimson for a moment and catch some light. All right. Still sticking with those colors. Still staying with the broad strokes. It's not a very big knife, so even the broad strokes aren't that strong. Okay, hint of cobalt blue in this. These last ones on the edge here. Oh, excuse me. Okay, we're getting there. Now I'm going to clean my mixing area because I want no impurities here for a moment. I'm going to go in with some pretty strong color. I'm going to jump into the cadmiums for a moment. We're going to use cadmium yellow, deep cadmium yellow pale. Might even dip into a little bit of cad red. We shall see shortly. Okay, it's looking okay, but it's pretty toned down. A little boring. So, cad yellow pale, cad orange deep. Just those for the moment. Okay, just some cad orange deep for a moment. Okay, cad orange deep, a bit of cad red medium. it's the Cad Orange Deep and the Cad Red Medium it's pretty stiff stuff, and I'm painting it over much looser colors, so it's difficult to overlay. You tend to drag the paint that's underneath it with you, and that's kind of a bit of a nuisance sometimes. It's not the worst thing, but just something to deal with. Okay. All right. I think I can afford to bring some light over here as well. Okay, that's looking a little more interesting, I think. Staunch color, but it's really slippery. So I'm not convinced I'm going to continue in that area, or in this area in general, because I think I'm just going to end up weakening things. I don't want this color here because it's rounding, it's getting out of the sunlight a bit. I don't want this color here because we're at the edge of the painting. Let's just clean this palette again. And I don't like my shape here. It's too boring. All right, just for the fun of it, let's take some raw umber. Candle pale and white. See if we can lay some light on here. Okay. Let's do that one too. It's all dead wood. It's pretty white. It's pretty bleached out. intense than that is. That's good. Now let's add a little bit of just straight raw umber to it. And catch the shady side. No, sorry, this is burnt umber. Still plugging away on my old tube of burnt umber. I'm so used to calling it raw umber because raw umber is, in general, what I use. I don't know what this is yet. Maybe it's just a witch's hat that got blown ashore from a really giant witch. Or maybe not. Okay, a couple of tidying lines here. Okay. Now this is going to be sort of sandy in the foreground. How about if we go again with yellow ochre and raw umber? A bit of white. I know those are the colors on this bleached out wood, but I'm not worried about it. Okay, that's fairly. Yeah, it's in range. It's doing what it's supposed to. Okay. It's always so tempting to work it to death, but that's exactly what happens. You work it to death, it's dead. It takes a lot of work to bring things back to life after you do that. How about a little bit of this in there? No, it's too no, it's too much taking on the color of the bush in behind it, so we'll avoid that. We'll just stick with our burnt umber and our yellow ochre for the moment. I think that's a good plan. Okay. A little more over there. Hmm. Okay, I have to, groom here, 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 here. Little things. I am wanting to let this paint up here set a little bit because if I don't, I'm just going to weaken things. But what I would like to do is just maybe add some couple of shots of darker strength here and there. A little quinacridone magenta. Quinacridone magenta. A little more white to that. It's just pink. It's a strong one though. I'll add a little bit of cad yellow to it, warm it up. Now it goes kind of orangey. That's okay. It's okay. We're not going to worry about that stuff. It's the kind of orange I like. I like it just fine. A bit of a dome going on there. Maybe it's okay. Maybe it's not. But I'm going to make that decision with fresh eyes in a little while. Okay, let me just stand up and stand back. Excuse me. Yeah, it has strength. That's good. Here, we'll square off again. We've got some intensity going on there. I like that. I like that just fine. And toned down a little bit on the left. Okay. I can paint with all the noise. I gotta say it's not my favorite. We have a lot of traffic here too, and I'm kind of used to that, but the traffic and the chainsaw and the wood chipper, nah. I'm gonna say goodbye. We'll talk to you soon.